The Bangsamoro Autonomous Region Filipino, Rehayong Autonomo ng Bangsamoro Arabic, Mancourt Bangsamoro Dadat Alcam Muntika Bangsamoro Dadia al Hukam, officially the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, BARMM, and also known as simply as Bangsamoro, is a proposed autonomous region within the Philippines. This is part of the Framework Agreement on the Bangsamoro, a preliminary peace agreement signed between the Moro Islamic Liberation Front and the government. When Rodrigo Duterte won as President of the Philippines in 2016, his administration announced that the Bangsamoro Basic Law (BBL) bill would shelved instead of being taken up by the 17th Congress of the Philippines. However, in 2018, the proposal was revived as the Organic Law for the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao (BARMM), or Bangsamoro Organic Law, a revised version of the BBL. After being ratified by Congress, the bill was signed into law by Duterte. A referendum will be held in the autonomous region of Muslim Mindanao in late 2018. History. Autonomous Region of Muslim Mindanao. The new entity is intended to supersede the Autonomous Region of Muslim Mindanao (ARMM), which President Benigno Aquino III described as a failed experiment. The new political entity seeks to bring closure to the 17-year peace process between the Philippine government and the Moro people in the Mindanao. Framework Agreement on the Bangsamoro. On 15 October 2012, the historic preliminary agreement was signed by Government Chief Negotiator Marvic Leonin, MILF Peace Panel Chair Mohagar Iqbal, Nam Daguerre, and Malaysian Facilitator Tengku Dato, A. Flat Ghaffar Tengku Muhammad along with President Aquino, Prime Minister Najib Razak of Malaysia, Chairman Al-Hajj Murad Ibrahim of the MILF, and Secretary-General Ekmeleddin Ihsanoglu of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation at the Malacañang Palace in Manila. The document outlines general agreements on major issues, including the extent of power, revenues, and territory granted for the new Muslim autonomous region. At the first stage of the negotiation, Malaysia's involvement as the facilitator has caused a concern among Filipino communities, as been reported by media in the Philippines. It was, however, explained by the Malaysian side that its involvement was due to the request by the Philippine government and MILF. The comprehensive agreement on Bangsamoro was signed at Malacañang in 27 March 2014, as witnessed by leaders and members of MILF and the Philippine government, as well as by Malaysian Prime Minister Najib Razak, whose country served as the third-party negotiator in the peace talks. Mamasapano clash and effect on Bangsamoro Basic Law (BBL). On 25 January 2015, 44 members of the Special Action Force were killed after the killing of Malaysian terrorist Zulkifli Abdir aka Marwan, by allegedly the MILF and BIF. Senator Bongbong Marcos, chairman of the Committee on Local Government in the Senate, suspended the hearings on the BBL due to the bloody encounter, while Senators Alan Peter Cayetano and J. V. Ejercito withdrew as an author in the BBL bill. Dozens have been killed in the fighting, including 44 police commandos, 17 MILF rebels and 3 civilians. Senate version of the Basic Law. In the Philippine Senate, a revised version of the BBL, known as the Basic Law for the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region, was presented on the 11th of August 2015 after lengthy deliberations on the BBL in the Committee on Local Government, and was due for interpellation on the 17th of August 2015. Due to the length and complexity of the bill, however, the Senate temporarily deferred the period of interpellation for the bill. The 16th Congress went on recess without passing the bill on 2 February 2016. Government. Organizational structure. Executive. The region is headed by a Chief Minister of the Bangsamoro. The Chief Minister of the Bangsamoro is elected directly like regular local executives. Regional ordinances are created by the Bangsamoro Parliament, composed of assemblymen, also elected by direct vote. Regional elections are usually held 1 year after general elections, national and local, depending on legislation from Congress. Regional officials have a fixed term of 3 years, which can be extended by an act of Congress. The Chief Minister of the Bangsamoro is the chief executive of the regional government, and is assisted by a cabinet not exceeding 10 members. He appoints the members of the cabinet, subject to confirmation by the Bangsamoro Parliament. He has control of all the regional executive commissions, agencies, boards, bureaus, and offices. Bangsamoro Cabinet. The Bangsamoro Cabinet advises the Chief Minister on matters of governance of the autonomous region. It is composed of the Chief Minister, one regional Vice Governor, and 3 Deputy Regional Governors, each representing the Christians, the Muslims, and the indigenous cultural communities. The Chief Minister and Regional Vice Governor have a 3-year term, maximum of 3 terms. Deputies' terms are coterminous with the term of the regional governor who appointed them. Legislative. The ARMM has a unicameral Bangsamoro Parliament headed by a Speaker. It is composed of 3 members for every congressional district. The current membership is 24, where 6 are from Lanao del Sur including Marawi City, 6 from Maguindanao, 6 from Sulu, 3 from Basilan, and 3 from Tawi-Tawi. The Bangsamoro Parliament is the legislative branch of the BARMM government. The regular members, 3 members, district, and sectoral representatives, have 3-year terms, maximum of 3 consecutive terms. It exercises legislative power in the autonomous region, except on the following matters: foreign affairs, national defense and security, postal service, coinage and fiscal and monetary policies, administration of justice, quarantine, customs and tariff, citizenship, naturalization, immigration and deportation, general auditing, national elections, maritime, land, and air transportation, communications, patents, trademarks, trade names, and copyrights, foreign trade, and may legislate on matters covered by the Sharia, the law governing Muslims. BARMM powers and basic principles. Bangsamoro Organic Law provides that BARMM shall remain an integral and inseparable part of the national territory of the Republic. The President exercises general supervision over the regional governor. The regional government has the power to create its own sources of revenues and to levy taxes, fees, and charges, subject to constitutional provisions and the provisions of No. 11054. The Sharia applies only to Muslims. Its applications are limited by pertinent constitutional provisions, prohibition against cruel and unusual punishment. Cultural heritage. The people of the Bangsamoro region, including Muslims and non-Muslims, have a culture that revolves around kulintang music, a specific type of gong music, found among both Muslim and non-Muslim groups of the southern Philippines. Each ethnic group in BARMM also has their own distinct architectures, intangible heritage, and craft arts. A fine example of a distinct architectural style in the region is the Royal Sulu architecture, which was used to make the Daru Jambangan Palace of Flowers in Maimbing, Sulu. The palace was destroyed during the American period due to a typhoon in 1932, and was never rebuilt. It used to be the largest royal palace built in the Philippines. A campaign to faithfully re-establish it in Maimbing town has been ongoing since 1933. A very small replica of the palace was made in a nearby town in the 2010s, but it was noted that the replica does not mean that the campaign to reconstruct the palace in Maimbing has stopped, as the replica does not manifest the true essence of a Sulu royal palace. In 2013, Maimbing was officially designated as the royal capital of the Sultanate of Sulu by the remaining members of the Sulu royal family. Proposed setup in a federal government. The Bangsamoro Basic Law Bill was considered for shelving by the 17th Congress of the Philippines. The bill was planned to be integrated to the federalism proposal by President Rodrigo Duterte. In case the proposed federalism fails to be passed, President Duterte said that he will concede to the provisions of the bill. In January 2017, Nene Pimentel proposed in a federalism forum that the Bangsamoro state should be divided into 2 autonomous regions, namely, mainland Muslim Mindanao and the Sulu archipelago, as the 2 Muslim areas are distinct from each other in terms of culture. He made the statement after going around the autonomous region of Muslim Mindanao, whose people told him that the Muslims of the offshore islands, Basilan, Sulu, Tawi-Tawi, do not want to be lumped together with the mainland Muslims of Mindanao as they are distinct from each other. Pimentel also noted that Sharia law could only be applied in the Bangsamoro state, composed of Autonomous Region of Mainland Bangsamoro and Autonomous Region of Sulu, if the two parties are Muslims, but if one or both parties are non-Muslims, national law will always apply. He also stated that the Philippines would include its claim in Sabah under the federal form of government. In January 2018, Pimentel suggested the inclusion of the Malaysian-administered territory of Sabah as a Philippine federal state in itself to assert the Philippine claim over the disputed territory in a way acceptable under international laws. Comparisons. See also: Framework Agreement on the Bangsamoro, Comprehensive Agreement on Bangsamoro, Peace process with the Bangsamoro in the Philippines, Federalism in the Philippines. References. External links. Bangsamoro Organic Law Bicameral Final Report Text Bangsamoro Basic Law in draft form.